I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up the USA view. Senate candidate cancels gay bar fundraiser after scrutiny over past anti-LGBTQ comments. A Democratic U.S. Senate candidate is facing renewed scrutiny after abruptly canceling a fundraiser at a New York City gay bar. Graham Platner had planned a meet and greet event at Industry Bar, but references to the event were removed from his campaign website shortly after media inquiries. The cancellation came after the advocate contacted Platner's team and the venue, questioning the decision to host the event at an LGBTQ bar, given his past anti-LGBTQ remarks online. Neither Platner's campaign nor the bar responded to requests for comment. Platner previously apologized for those remarks, calling them abhorrent, and he's also faced criticism over past misogynistic and racist comments, as well as a tattoo resembling Nazi insignia, which he has since covered. Despite expressing support for the queer community during his campaign, his past continues to follow him. On June 9th, Platner will face Maine Governor Janet Mills in the state's Democratic primary election for Senate. The winner will face incumbent Senator Susan Collins, the last Republican representing New England in Congress.
Wow.
I think we do have to, practice what we preach in many ways, is we want to speak to communities and be inclusive and let people have grace. He has certainly done a full full court press on, apologizing for past remarks, past things that have come up in his past. And I do think that, this is a very, very inside baseball type Senate fight right now. The Democrats, with Chuck Schumer is on the Janet Mills side, and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, and are on Graham Platner's side. Certainly two people that are not very, we label them as extremely progressive.
Right,
so,
power players in the progressive. Yeah, people that we look to for decisions sometimes, for those of us who don't really know. I mean, as someone who often takes a back seat at this table when it comes to policies and political attributes that I know I cannot add to the story, I turn to people like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders just because they're good in my eyes.
Yes.
It's good figures. So you're easily influenced when the good is backing something. You have to weigh the good and the bad sometimes.
This was a perfect opportunity for him to continue to talk to our community.
Right.
I think he's really missing an opportunity by canceling this and not saying why. So I really hope he does have more events in our bars, in our different events for LGBTQ to continue showing his support for us, because that's very important.
I hope that people can also recognize, just because I know that we have viewers who watch this show and they hear a word and they automatically think something like the worst. So when we say Nazi tattoo, automatically you kind of think of the worst representation of what that means to you, that word. We earlier found out that it's a tattoo that was more of like a trend within the military at the time that all of these guys were getting. So it wasn't a literal swastika like we said, but it was more of my buddy's getting this. Not that it so much matters, because it's still a symbol of a little bit of hatred, but it was more of a unified front within the unit that he was with at the time, as opposed to, I feel this way, let me get it tattooed on me. Yeah. So I think that that's really important, that people observe that text and don't just jump to conclusions right then and there. So I'm sure we'll hear more about this. Yeah. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.